Good morning, everyone. In our particular case, we, as many households, suffered a income loss. I was working for the Cleveland School District. I was laid off. We got behind in our mortgage payments. We wanted to seek, some assistance on becoming current and maybe even having because our income, our household income was different or less. We wanted to seek a modification. And after much publicity on the NACA was coming into town, and we had heard about it. It was on the news. I think I got an email concerning NACA, and because Representative Fudge was speaking out on behalf of this agency and this forum that they were bringing into town, we felt that maybe it was valid and that we would try it. So like many, we went down to the Wolstein Center, Cleveland State. We were some of the first ones there. We spent an entire day there. We submitted paperwork. We went through the interview process. They took us in a back room where we met the actual lender. And but because they told us, I think at the end of the day, we were there about 13 hours as well. Because we do have an FHA loan, they told us that they couldn't complete our resolution that day. Now they were bringing people up and ringing bells and basically saying, look, we solved their problem. We resolved they had where they were paying $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month. Now they're paying $500 a month, and they were kind of like parading folks around as if they were resolving their mortgage issues. And but it never happened for us. We sat there for hours, and again, eventually, they told us that, well, because you have an FHA loan, we're going to have to send your paperwork, I think it was to HUD or something like that. They're going to get back in touch with you, and they'll let you know what the resolution is. But we waited and waited, and we never heard from HUD. We tried to contact NACA again. They basically gave us a runaround. Eventually, I think we did hear something. It was months later, but it still was sort of like a stall tactic. So in the process, of course, fees were multiplying. They were adding additional charges to our account and to our mortgage, and we felt, even worse. We got behind even worse. And so eventually we contacted ESOP. And the gentleman, Scott Rose, is here today. And ESOP, they actively got on the situation. They contacted our lender, who is Bank of America. They did respond at that time. And so we're in the process now of trying to come to a resolution. But we do feel that ESOP is actively working, and they're making some inroads in our situation. So that's basically our situation. NACA basically gave us the runaround, just as we've heard from many others, and we didn't get any resolution from NACA.
Oh, well, I'm the phone person. So we were really getting really screwed, because at the time when we went to NACA, we were just maybe a couple of months, because like my husband said, he was a Cleveland school teacher and was laid off. It was just temporary. And we told him our income was cut in half, but it would be a temporary situation. Could you just lower our payment? So when we did go, it was just a couple of months where we could have got out of that, because we had savings. But when we went to NACA, they said do an online appointment where they call your house. They never called. I think it was so late I had to reschedule it. Then it was like 11 into the night, and then I rescheduled it, and they never called. But what they ended up doing, because I started bothering them, they sent us this bogus modification, giving us 1 week to come up with an amount. And I didn't really care about that, but call me and tell me, this is going to be the issue. But they did it because they weren't taking care of business. So it's just like, back to something against the wall again. So then what we did, somebody said, well, just, you know, call one more place and they screwed us around. So we called Eastside. And we went and told them, and just almost immediately, they been helping us. But what they did when they found out Eastside was involved, they sent us a nasty letter saying that just do a deed in lieu, like we don't know what that means, like give up your house, and we're not giving up our house. So,
Okay, and I know you have to get the road right now.
yeah.
But any questions before they?
I have a question. When you all went through NACA that night and stayed there 13 hours, did they tell you not to pay? Did they tell you that you should pay a reduced payment? Or what did they tell you to do to wait until
Well,
they
what they
called?
said was, because it was amazing, in the computer, it said our payment would be $433, something like that. And then they said, well, this is the paperwork, and then we went to the back and we talked to a Bank of America representative. And they said they couldn't finalize the numbers because we had an FHA loan. They said, well, wait a minute, FHA is on their way. So we waited 3 more hours for someone who never showed up. And they said we were like almost between 3 people, NACA, the bank, and FHA. So, you know, with FHA never getting involved, you know, it was, I called NACA, well, NACA said, we can't do nothing, we're just go-between, you gotta talk to your bank. You call Bank of America, we can't do anything because you're FHA. It was just back, it was volleying us back and forth to no resolution, you know, and so it wasn't, we couldn't send a payment because for one thing, we were dealing with NACA, so we didn't have a resolution to know what to pay.